We're thinking about 5.7 million patients have Alzheimer's today. That amount will double in the next 30 years as we all age and live longer. The numbers internationally is at least that large. You know, you want to throw a number of dollars per treatment per year, so about somewhat $10,000 to $20,000. You can easily see us getting to that number.
5.7 million patients have Alzheimer's. I would imagine not all of them would qualify for this Biogen 2401 drug. I mean, this really attacks the amyloid in the brain at an earlier stage of the disease, correct?
It binds oligomers of amyloid beta before they settle into a plaque. The point is that this is the key point about this drug. It's a break in the front. We were not sure that the amyloid beta hypothesis is correct. If we see that data, it's probably going to be presented late in July, somewhere between July 22nd and 26th at the ASC meeting in Chicago. If the data is positive, it means that a whole slew of other drugs we're currently working on, which either remove plaque from the brain or does some of the plaque binding, could potentially be used, maybe together with something called a BACE inhibitor on top of them as preventing additional plaque formation. And we suddenly have a basis to guess or presume that some of those could work. So this is not the only drug that will come into the market if we are seeing the results we hope we see.
We're very cost conscious these days with prices going up as much as they are in the drug industry. I know that research like this is very expensive. I know we're early on this, but do you think this will be one of those drugs that will be less accessible to some patients because of the cost or not?
Yeah, I mean, this will lead to some societal decisions. So if our total drug budget right now is about $450 billion, and we're talking about, call it 30 billions more in the United States alone, then we have to think about this. But think about the total cost of patients living with Alzheimer's. They require supervision. A lot of times they go into homes. If we think about an early patient with Alzheimer's living about 4 years before he needs to go to a home, and this drug is probably around 25% reduction in progression speed, so you might get an extra year of living independently. The cost that removes from the system is enormous. So if you look at the total cost of pharmacological treatment versus having to have someone live in a home or have an adult child taking care of them, that is actually a huge benefit from the overall system.
I believe it was our previous guest who said, obviously, and you made the point, this is not a cure. Is it more reasonable for us to think of Alzheimer's as we tend to think now of some other diseases as treatable chronic diseases, diseases you live with, but that can be mitigated, if not controlled by medication?
So the short answer is we don't know yet. So clearly the first step is to go out there and slow the disease progression, understand more what causes disease, and maybe we'll end up with a chronic condition. But I don't think we know enough about the disease to say that it's not curable. Okay, there's some papers coming out suggesting there's a viral component to the disease, and maybe if we can eliminate that, we might be able to cure it like we cure hepatitis C. So I think it's a little bit too early for us to tell. This is kind of like the first time we actually got kind of like the end of the string in terms of being able to do something.
You mentioned that the amyloid thesis was in question, and now we have confirmation that perhaps this is actually the route to go.
Assuming the data shows this, right?
So far, right, assuming the data shows it. Does that mean that Roche, does that mean that Lilly can come back in with their drugs that they had to end trials on last month?
So Lilly ended a trial that probably was still going to fail.
Okay.
Roche has not ended their main programs that compete with this. As a matter of fact, Roche is the other main horse in addition to Biogen attempting to develop drugs that look very much the same to each other. So I'm kind of surprised, frankly, that Roche is not up to date.
Yeah.
Very quickly, we were highlighting that Biogen's having its best day in several years.
Sure.
Is this warranted? Do you buy this because of the developments here?
Yeah, so I think the results is about right. We thought it would be more than 10%, less than 20%, so we're in the high end of that. If we get actually the results to be as positive as we think they would be, or we hope it would be, they will have another leg up in late July. But I kind of think that we kind of got the upside we should have gotten from news of that magnitude. It's about $10 billion or so, maybe a little bit more of market cap created today for Biogen.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.